Yo guys, what's up? In this video, we are gonna talk about fundamentals versus narratives. So many people like to overanalyze things or not analyze things at all, right? So many people ask me how much fundamentals matter. And you have to put this in context like everything else, because when it comes to bear markets and bull markets, people usually get emotional and most things get either during bull market, the things get overbought. During bear market, the things get oversold. This is very important to understand. So regardless of the fundamentals, basically most things will go up in bull market and things will go down in bear market. But how do the fundamentals matter? First of all, fundamentals matter a lot in the long run, right? So let's look at Ethereum. If you check Ethereum, since the last bull market, of course, it went down, right? But if you check the whole history, it's only up because everyone is using Ethereum network. Protocols are implemented on top of it. So it's very useful, right? So the fundamentals are very good with Ethereum, and in the long run, it goes only up. It doesn't mean it's not gonna get overbought or oversold during the bull market. And this is much easier to see for older things that still here in crypto, because crypto, of course, is a very new thing. So sometimes it's very hard to find long-term patterns for a reason, right? DeFi basically started in 2019, 2020. It's still very new, right? It started right before the bull market and the prices went up a lot during the bull market, and now everyone is saying like, oh, DeFi is down, right? But you don't have enough data, you don't have enough history to just say that DeFi is shit, right? And that's why you have to be more objective and understand that human nature is playing a big part in the price action, right? But you could, for instance, take a look at which protocols are used on a daily basis or a weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever, how much revenue the protocols make, etc., right? What is the TVL, daily active users, monthly active users, whatever statistics you are interested in. And let's take a look at some protocols that are making money with the fees, right? So this is token terminal fees, and of course, most money is made by Ethereum network, but you can see quite a few familiar projects here, right? So we will take a look at a few. So again, Ethereum in the long run, it's only up, gets overbought in bull market, gets oversold in bear market. Overbought bull market, oversold bear market. So that's normal. Let's now look at GMX. So this is a very different chart. Why? Because GMX token was basically released at the end of the previous bull market, right? So it didn't really have time for a bull market, which is interesting if you think about it. So it just all bear market data basically, right? There was nothing to collapse from, so it didn't really go down in bear market. Then of course it was being heavily used as perp stacks, and then there was here on top, it was around the Arbitrum airdrop time. That's why it went up a bit more. And now, of course, after that, a bit of pullback. But if you just think about it, this is being used, price is somewhat up. It's a very healthy chart. It will go up in the next bull market most likely because, again, it makes fees, it is used, it is useful, right? So in the long run, you could, based on data, you could expect this to keep going up. Most likely, this will be overbought in the next bull market and then gets oversold once again, right? Important to see the difference. Or look at Chainlink. It's a very important piece of the infrastructure for crypto, but the tokenomics was shit. So even though the project is useful, the tokenomics is fucked, and that's why it only goes sideways basically. As far as I know, it hasn't been fixed yet. But again, another different chart. And this is a project that is being used a lot and of course was overbought in the bull market because everyone knew protocols were using it heavily. But again, the tokenomics design is shit, so of course it got sold off. Or let's look at Uniswap. Again, the timing is super important here as well. It's 2020 September, the DeFi summer happened and Uniswap went up. Then, of course, rest of 2020 was nothing because then the real bull market started in January or February for altcoins, right? Certain altcoins went up earlier. I will talk about that in a different video, but it's important to understand that most altcoins went up after Bitcoin ran in December. So this as well gets overbought and then gets sold off. And again, the chart is not that useful. Why? Why? Because this part of the chart, this is when it was released. Then of course bull market, and then of course as you go into the bear market, it gets sold off, right? So basically the price action is nothing. It's just sideways. Would you expect this to go back up in the next bull market? Yes, because it's one of the most heavily used decentralized exchanges. Is it a useful product? Yes, everyone is using it, right? If you think about it. Hard to tell. Again, I'm not gonna guess the price here. It doesn't matter that much. What matters is that this protocol is also used heavily. It's very useful. They came up with the liquidity pools and people are still using them. Maybe they will be outcompeted. We don't know. Someone comes up with a much better way to implement liquidity pools. We don't know that. There are some protocols that trying that, but still, as of now, Uniswap is still heavily used. Most of the coins on chain are liquid on Uniswap. So would you expect this to go back up in the bull run? Definitely yes. Again, is this your best bet? No, but you understand the point here. This protocol is being used and it's a big part of crypto, so the fundamentals are there. But how much will it reflect in the price action? We don't know. Also, this is an older protocol. What you have to understand with many of the older protocols, not chains, with protocols, that people always want the new shiny thing because they think they will be able to make more money on those. So there are different types of people, but many of them only like to buy new things because they think they will make 1000x on a new coin, right? And if something is older and it only offers them 2-3x in the bull run, then they are not interested. Again, bull run thinking versus bear market thinking, many things matter here. The point is that the fundamentals are very good for Uniswap as long as it's not outcompeted and there is no better way for liquidity pools. This will go up in general, because in the long run, fundamentals matter. And then if there is one more, I want to check Aave, same chart. It was released around the same time, the token, and then same price action basically like Uniswap. And then, of course, you could look at protocols that made 100x in the bull market and then they disappeared and they will never come back. Many such cases, right? So pay attention to that as well. That most protocols that make big money in bull markets, they will just disappear. Why do they disappear? Because there is no fundamentals. People play the narrative game and then they just go away. But in bull markets, you can make money on those as well, right? So for instance, I don't know, let's check something which doesn't have anything, right? Like Kishu Inu, whatever, these dog coins that went up after Dogecoin went up and Shiba Inu, etc., right? So if you check this, it's insane how big it became in a few days. Boom, first part of bull market, second part of bull market, then it goes to zero. Check the market cap, right? It went above, like, it was like 200 million. Oh no, this is a bad chart. I'm not sure how big it was. We should check another one. I'm not sure how big it was here. I'm not gonna search for the data, but it was billions of dollars because the volume was 250 million, which is insane. What is the volume now? 200,000. You see the big difference? So this is a shitcoin. And again, you can make money on these, but they have zero fundamentals. They can make big X's, but then they will bleed as fuck much faster than normal coins on one hand, and then they will never return. Many of these dog coins that went up in the previous bear market, 99% of them will disappear. Maybe Kishu will come back a bit because it reached a certain size, so people might assume that will make a comeback, whatever. But you can see the difference between the charts, right? So this one is fucking crazy and pointless. Can you make money if you catch it? Yes, you can. Should you keep your money in this? Definitely not at all, right? With these useless things, you have to take profits immediately and then find the next play. And remember, if a project has zero fundamentals, they will disappear, right? But if a project has fundamentals, in the long run, it will be fine, but the price will still fluctuate if you look at it, right? So these are protocols that actually make sense. Okay, again, GMX is mostly up because it was released at the end of the bull market. But if you check Ethereum and if you just check Uniswap next to it, let's say, and then you try to check it from the same time, September 2020, I will just do that. Right, so if you look at it this way, then it's a very similar chart, right? It's a very similar chart. And of course, Ethereum is useful. And in the long run, it's going to go up. Again, during the bull market, it will be overbought. After the bull market, it will be oversold. Fundamentals, again, matter in the long run. And one other reason fundamentals matter, because if people see good fundamentals, like, okay, good team, the product makes sense, etc., then they are more likely to hype it up and buy into it in the short run run as well, right? So even if it's like the narrative is not that strong, but the fundamentals are very good, then in the bull market, that helps. That's also help for the project, but it's just to get things moving, right? And then people overhype it, of course, and then it will be overbought. But if fundamentals are good, then of course it can support the narrative. But fundamentals really matter in the longer run.